With us today is Lina Hilwani from the Sustainable Supply Chain team. So Lina, we talk, don't we, a lot about sustainable supply chain, and that's incredibly important. But I'd like to focus in right now on responsible supply chains. What is responsible supply chain?
So organisations tend to refer to responsible supply chains as those who understand the impacts they have on people, positive or negative, manage those impacts and remediate if things go wrong.
So just in terms of the impacts on people, let's unpack that a little bit more. So what specific areas do you focus in on?
So in terms of impact on people, we primarily look at human rights under the declaration of the UN Declaration of Human Rights. So this tends to be issues from labour practices, for example, risks of modern slavery, child labour, workers' rights, but it also could look at things as communities' right to access to water, for example.
So looking at these specific areas, and I assume with clients that don't mitigate and understand these risks here, it could be pretty significant for them.
Yes, absolutely. Particularly because that brings also responsibilities for companies to act on these risks and ensure that people are not being harmed as part of their extended operations, if you refer to supply chains as that. And
I may just say, well, the flip side of those risks are, I assume that there are opportunities for those clients who are exemplars in this space. Is that fair to say?
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, making sure that through the supply chain, companies are contributing to the good of to positive impacts to people, would also give them a social license to operate in lots of communities, for example. So that's particularly relevant in industries like mining, for instance. But also gives resilience to the supply chain and resilience to the operations and the flow of product that they would need.
Wonderful. I have two questions for you. First one, do you have any standout client examples that you'd like to share?
Yes, so we've been working with chemicals and health science companies for helping them understand the human rights risks that sit in a lot of their operations, but particularly within supply chain, in terms of rating these risks, understanding what their obligations are, and then how to report on that externally as well.
Fantastic. That's a brilliant client example. And finally, it's my second and final question. Do you have any key takeaways for the business leaders who are watching you right now?
So the key takeaway in terms of responsible supply chains is just starting to demystify the size of the issue, understanding the risks, where they exist, and then what is the company's responsibility to address these risks.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lina.